So the fifth chapter of this book is dedicated to the Rashidun Caliphate, the four rightly guided caliphs, plus Hassan, which I personally consider to be the fifth of the Rashidun, for reasons that I'll explain later in this video. So the chapter, it starts off with the election of the first Khalifa. And while there were so many signs during the end of the life of the Prophet ﷺ, to show that Abu Bakr was suited for the job, there was definitely a conflict between Abu Bakr and Ali, simply because Ali wasn't consulted in the choosing of the Khalifa. This is partially because he wasn't present at the meeting that took place when they were choosing the Khalifa, but it was also because he was like 30 years younger than Abu Bakr and some of the senior of the Sahaba. So at the time, he really wasn't considered part of the elders or the senior. Ali, of course, definitely deserved to be a Khalifa at some point, and he would eventually be given that position when he got older. So after this election, I went through the governments of Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and the things that they accomplished during their different rules. The wars that they fought, the struggles that they had, the reforms that they made to the governments. And of course, I'm not just listing them out, but I'm actually telling them to you like a story so that you can actually feel the emotions that they would have felt. Because, I mean, can you imagine having lived under the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ for like 2 decades or so, knowing that he was being guided by Allah and that victory was guaranteed. And now you don't have him anymore, and you don't have revelation from Allah to guide you. You don't have that constant stream of revelation to guide you through the most difficult decisions that you're currently facing. And you're trying to fill the shoes of the Prophet ﷺ and lead the Muslims. And so these people, they would have suffered immensely trying to lead the Muslims. And in the end, 4 of them were assassinated, if you include Hassan as well. Hassan was most likely poisoned. But one of the unique things about this chapter as well was the amount of hadith that I used for all of the different predictions that the Prophet ﷺ had made during his lifetime. In the previous 2 chapters, the Seerah of Mecca and Medina, I used a lot of Quranic quotes throughout the story. But in this chapter in particular, I used a hadith extensively. And frankly, I was really astounded. I had no idea before I went into this, before I started my research, that there were so many predictions that the Prophet ﷺ had made, and they all came true. So many different prophecies came true during this period of time. So for example, there's a hadith that says that the Rashidun, the Khulafa Rashidun, the rightly guided caliphs, will be 30 years. Well, if we add the first 4 Khalifas, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, they total exactly 29.5 years. But then, if we add Hassan as the 4th Khalifa, who ruled for 6 months before abdicating his throne, 6 months exactly, we get 30 years exactly. And of course, with all of the hadiths that I quote, I mention their grading and their reference, and I mostly use Sahih ahadith, almost exclusively. There's a couple of Hassan hadith as well. So if you're interested in this book, go to my website and pre-order the book now. I will literally write your name into the book as an honor for you for being one of the original backers of this project. But this is only for people who pre-order the book during this Ramadan only. May Allah honor your name with a legacy that the ummah will never forget. And may the generations of people who read this book hundreds of years from now know that it was you who was the reason that this book could even exist in the first place. Ameen.